From the Kyle Chevrolet Studios in West Des Moines, welcome to Iowa Live. I am Lou, and it is time to visit with our good friend, attorney Kim Baer from the Baer Law Office. Hello, Kim. How are you?
Oh, doing pretty good. How about you, Lou?
Great. So what are we talking about today?
Yeah, I thought we'd talk about modification of court orders in family law cases.
Okay.
So, and that comes up, so let's just, as an example, let's say that you and I were not married, but we had a child.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we might have already an order in place that governs visitation, child support, holidays, moving, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So, and let's say that our child, we've had this order in place for 4 or 5 years, and I don't think you're paying me enough child support.
Okay.
So I might want to go modify and see if I can increase the child support, because as we know, we've got inflation and things are more expensive.
Yep, absolutely. So. How often does modification like this take place?
Oh, a lot. I would say.
Really?
I would say probably if we have 100 family law cases in our office, maybe 30 of those are modifications, so quite a bit.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So what about, let's talk about the individual components of what we want to talk about.
Absolutely. So let's talk about first child support, because I think it's really important for people to know that there is a free resource out there for them. Yeah, so Child Support Recovery, they offer a free service where they will look at your child support and run the numbers and see whether or not it should be increased. So.
Okay, so and that's something that you said is free.
Yeah, it's absolutely free. The increase has to be a 20% increase. Mm-hmm. But if you go and file with them and say, hey, I want to take a look at child support, if I did that, they would reach out to you and get your tax returns and get your current pay information.
Okay.
And they would run the numbers, and then they would tell both of us, here's what child support should be. So, so when people call our office, I first tell them, go call Child Support Recovery, because there's really no point in paying a lawyer if you can get it done for free.
That is great that you do that.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
And yeah, that's looking out for the people that need some help.
Yes, absolutely.
And when people do that, how often do they get that increase when they request it?
Quite often, because the child support guidelines, the increase, so first of all, most people continue to make more money every year.
Okay.
And then the child support guidelines are redone occasionally, and so when they're redone, they also tend to go up. So most of the time, the child support does go up.
Okay, so that's something to keep in mind in case you are involved in that type of situation. All right, what are some of the other things we need to work on?
Well, so then sometimes people call us and they want to change visitation, or they even want to change custody. And so, those then we might have a custody battle, or we want to change visitation because something's going on, or maybe you and I were married and had a child, and I have custody, or we have shared care, and now you're going to move. Maybe you've got a job change and you're going to move 2 states away. Well, now we need to modify the order, because what are we going to do about our parenting time and holidays and all that kind of stuff?
And that just makes sense.
Yes,
especially in a situation where you move like that.
Yes.
Now, how often does that? No, we asked about the support, but how often does that type of modification take place?
So moves, I would say, happen, occasionally, but a lot of times, we have people come in and they'll say, my ex-spouse has custody of the child, and now they're dating somebody that's dangerous, or they have an alcohol issue around the child, or a drug issue, or my child is not getting to school, the other parent's not getting the kid up, and the child's not doing well, or sometimes the child starts having issues and wants to run away, and so we always kind of have to stop and look and see, okay, what's best for the child, and maybe we do need to change custody.
Okay. So. Now, which is more prominent? Is it the custody component, or is it the visitation component?
Well, I would say the visitation component, just because that's easier to change. It's a lesser standard. Okay. So we just have to show that there's been a material change, and that it's in the child's best interest. Now, if it's a custody, it's much more difficult. To change custody, we have to show a substantial change in circumstance that is permanent and not temporary.
Okay.
And we can do it, but it's hard. It's a hard case. And so usually when people come in to talk to us about it, we try to be very realistic with them, because we want to make sure that they know if they spend a lot of money, there's still a chance they might not win. But we have been successful in also changing custody, especially in situations where something's going on with the child and it is due to the other parent's house.
All right, so we learned a lot of things when it comes to family law and how things can be altered, including some free advice and free support that you can get for the compensation for child support. for, which is great. Now, people have any other questions about this, Kim? They want to get a hold of you to get some questions answered. How can they do so?
Yeah, absolutely. Just give us a call at 515-279-2000. We'd be happy to help.
All right. It is a great service. Do check with your attorney in cases like this, and they'll give you the absolute best advice, like this lady did just now. Kim Baer, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Lou.